Prajajanaranjana Yashananandana Prajajanaranjana Jamunatiravana Charidamun Jamunatiravana Charyam Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Rukmini Rakarish, Rukmini Rakarish, Rukmini Rakarish, Rukmini Rakarish. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jai Subhadra. Jai Gauranitai, 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 Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya. As Dr. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravista Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya. As Dr. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur Maharaj Ki Jai. Prem Sikaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dharma Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dharma Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Purushottam Kshetra Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Haribo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Canto 3, Chapter 26, Text 34 and 35. I'll read 34 and we'll do 35 together. What? 34, isn't it? Oh no, it's not, sorry. What is it? 36 and 37, right? Yeah. Mṛdutvam kaṭhinatvam ca śaityam uṣṇatvam eva ca etat sparśasya sparśatvam tan-mātratvaṁ nabhasvataḥ. Translation. Softness and hardness, cold and heat are the distinguishing attributes of touch, which is characterized as the subtle form of air. Purport. Tangibility is the proof of form. In actuality, objects are perceived in two different ways. They are either soft or hard, or cold or hot, etc. This tangible action of the tactile sense is the result of the evolution of air, which is produced from the sky. Text 37. Cālanaṁ vyūhanaṁ prāptir netṛtvaṁ dravya-śabdayoḥ savendriyanam atmatvam vayokama bilakṣanam cālanaṁ vyūhanaṁ prāptir netṛtvaṁ dravya-śabdayoḥ savendriyanam atmatvam vyokama bilakṣanam cālanaṁ vyūhanaṁ prāptir netṛtvaṁ dravya-śabdayoḥ savendriyanam atmatvam vyokama bilakṣanam. Please chant. Cālanaṁ vyūhanaṁ prāptir Ladies. Cālanaṁ vyūhanaṁ prāptir dravya-śabdayoḥ savendriyanam atmatvam vyokama bilakṣanam. Ladies. Cālanaṁ vyūhanaṁ prāptir netṛtvaṁ dravya-śabdayoḥ savendriyanam atmatvam vyokama bilakṣanam. Cālanaṁ, moving, vyūhanaṁ, mixing, prāptir, allowing approach, netṛtvaṁ, carrying, dravya-śabdayoḥ, particles of substance and sound, sarva indriyanam, of all the senses, atmatvam, providing for the proper functioning, vayo, of air, kama, by actions, abhilakṣanam, the distinct characteristics. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The action of air is exhibited in movement, mixing, allowing the approach of the objects of sound and other sense perceptions, and providing for the proper functioning of all other senses. Purport. We can perceive the action of air when the branches of a tree move, or when dry leaves on the ground collect together. Similarly, it is only by the action of air that a body moves, and when the air circulation is impeded, many diseases result. Paralysis, nervous breakdown, madness, and many other diseases are actually due to an insufficient circulation of the air. In the Ayurvedic system, these diseases are treated on the basis of air circulation. If from the beginning one takes care of the process of air circulation, such diseases cannot take place. From the Ayurveda as well as from Srimad Bhagavatam, it is clear that so many activities are going on internally and externally because of air alone. And as soon as there is some deficiency in the air circulation, these activities cannot take place. Here it is clearly stated, netṛtvaṁ dravya-śabdayoḥ, Our sense of proprietorship over action is also due to the activity of the air. If the air circulation is stifled, we cannot approach a place after hearing. If someone calls us, we hear the sound because of the air circulation, and we approach the sound or the place from which the sound comes. It is clearly said in this verse that these are all movements of the air. The ability to detect odors is also due to the action of the air. Translation: the action of the air is exhibited in movements, mixing, allowing the approach of the objects of sound and other sense perceptions, and providing for the proper functioning of all other senses. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Kananjana Salakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhambitam Skra Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopikanta Radhakanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, welcome to this morning's Bhagavatam class. These beautiful shlokas that we're going through now, which are really the stages of the manifestation. Am I speaking loud enough? The stages of the manifestation in fascinating details. How earlier it said how all forms exist in ether, and how they're waiting there, but ultimately we know that everything rests. If you go back and back and back, everything rests in Krishna. And from Krishna, different expansions, then we have Narayan, and from Narayan, Pradhana. And like that, everything starts to evolve and expand. So these three worlds that we're more familiar with are composed of the 9 elements: fire, earth, ether, air, water, direction, time, soul, and mind. And we worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, from whom everything originates, in whom everything exists, and into whom everything enters at the time of the universal cataclysm. So starting from the subtle and manifesting towards the material, from the seed of Krishna. Krishna is like the original seed of all existence, as it says so many times in Bhagavad Gita. Louder? Okay. That he says at the end of Brahma Samhita that I am the fundamental principle of all that is animate and inanimate. I am Pradhana, the substance of matter. I am Prakriti, the material cause. And I am Purusha, the efficient cause. So everything is Krishna, but simultaneously, mystically, as is Krishna, he is aloof from everything, and in his own abode in Goloka, just enjoying his pastimes with his friends and the cowherd maidens of Raja. He's not dealing directly in the activities of material world. That's all prearranged, and it runs like a clock, like clockwork, on automatic. So sound, the first shloka that we read talks about sound and touch. And that's the point where the manifestation starts to become material, tangible. And today our verse that had the longer purport, so I chose to speak on this, talks about the air. Air is a very special element, marud in the Sanskrit, and it's an invisible element, but we can feel and experience air through movement. Especially Prabhupada says here, through the leaves on the trees moving, or you'll see in the autumn time the leaves blowing, sometimes in circles they blow and they scatter and they move up and down the roads. And we can also see that if we watch the sky, here now we're having more clouds, so we can see the clouds moving because of the air. And also waves on water are created by the air movement. And there's a very beautiful shloka, Lord Chaitanya, he speaks this to Sanatan, and it says about how Venudwani Chakravati Naridamana Trinapati Taha Dubaya Kahi Ugaya. That the air carries the flute sound of Lord Krishna, and it arises like a whirlwind. It creates like an emotional whirlwind which catches the hearts and the minds of the gopis, just as if they were those dried leaves and twigs. And he takes them up with him and through his own will. And when they fall down again, they never arise, but they always stay fixed in their mind, fixed on Lord Krishna. Movement of air also is generating electricity through friction. So that's very interesting how actually everything's powered now by electricity, and that comes by, not only by air, but more and more we're doing air, creation of electricity. Air also is a carrier of aroma. Aroma has a great potency to transport us. Like now, not now, but just a little bit earlier, we had everywhere the beautiful fragrance of the night blooming jasmine. This wonderful plant becomes fragrant in the night, and it makes the whole area around the temple smell like the spiritual world. I think we should plant more of those. And in contrast, you have stark contrast, I might add. If you go to Venice Boulevard, you may experience the stench of the roasting of carcasses in the various restaurants, which are relished by people in different and lower modes. The air also is drying in nature, but it can also carry water, and it can carry heat also. Like England is a very lucky island in a way, because of the Gulf Stream coming from Mexico carries the warm air, and so England, where I come from, it has a very temperate climate, because you can go to Germany and it has -40 in the winter, and that's south of England. But in England we have a very temperate climate due to the Gulf Stream, which is the movement of the air as it shifts between high pressure and low pressure. And air also carries sound vibration. And although we can't see it, we can hear sound vibration. We can't see the radio waves or the television or Wi-Fi, but we can experience it by hearing it. In this way we can understand the presence of air. And it's also very, and the main sound vibration, of course, should I forget to say this, the sound vibration of the Maha Mantra, which is the sound that descends from the spiritual world and which can give us liberation. This beautiful sound vibration, which we chant every day, is the panacea for all the evils of the world. And that's why, as Hare Krishna movement, we are always chanting Hare Krishna and encouraging as many people to chant Hare Krishna as possible, because this will tip the weight of the karmic burden of the earth, which if it gets too heavy, will be war, pestilence, famine, etc., etc. So if we do a lot of chanting, and we encourage all people of the world to take up this process of chanting Hare Krishna, it will change the direction of history. Prabhupada predicted that. Air is also, it's weightless. It's mystical, it's weightless. You can't really experience it, but it can carry rain clouds which carry tons and tons, hundreds of tons of water. And when they decide to fall from the sky, they can destroy houses, cars, cities, towns anyway, and mountainsides. Very, very powerful, and the air carries them. Air is also, air brings change and also is symbolistic of freedom and thought. Stagnation of air, on the other hand, is the prime cause of disease. And there's a very interesting doctor who treats patients simply by teaching them how to breathe properly. We go to school for so many years and we learn so many things, but who here got taught in school how to breathe? Maybe if you went to school in India, you might be lucky. Did you? Yeah. So if you're in the West, nobody will teach you how to breathe. You have to just work it out for yourself. And stagnation of air, Prabhupada says, causes paralysis, nervous breakdown, and madness. It's so important. In fact, when you think about it, without air, maybe you can live for 5 minutes, at least minutes. Without food, one can live for, without water, we can live for a few days. But without food, we can live for many weeks. So we can see the importance of air. Air is essential for our existence. And in pranayama and in the Vedic tradition, in yoga and the Vedic tradition, then pranayama is a very important feature. And Prabhupada said that it's a material tool that can help us, because by pranayama, we can really focus the mind. When we control the breathing, we also control the mind. And although he didn't emphasize it as the primary method for developing love of God in this age, because chanting of Hare Krishna is the primary method, still this using of pranayama will help us keep our mind and calm our life, because we live in a very stressful time. In Kali Yuga, there's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and it will help us a lot if we take advantage. So there's 5 different types of air: prana, apana, udana, samaya, and vyūhanaṁ. Vyūhanaṁ. Is that right? Vyūhanaṁ. That are in part with elimination, creativity, digestive and circulatory. So we can harness this energy of pranayama, and although we can't think that it's going to give us the ultimate goal. In Brahma Samhita it tells how the yogis, they only approach the tips of the toes of Lord Krishna by the process of pranayama, of drilling the respiration. And it's by bhakti alone that one can actually attain Krishna. So in Krishna Lila, of course, there was the Trināvata demon, who was the air demon. And he kidnapped Krishna and carried him up into the sky. But although he was so powerful that he, destroyed all the trees in the surrounding area, he couldn't affect Krishna, who became as heavier than a mountain, and forced this great demon to the ground. And the lesson behind this story is that mystic power may come, but we mustn't always use any powers, any energy, any opulences that we get. We must be utilized in the service of Krishna. Otherwise, they will bring our downfall, as they brought the downfall of the Trināvata demon, who was crushed to the ground and destroyed. So there are gods in charge of all the different elements. In the Vedic culture, everything is personal. It's not at all like the modern world. It's completely the opposite. Everything is personal and everything has a presiding deity. So the deities of air, there's the storm gods. They're in charge of the storms, the maruts. They're described as violent gods who bring storm and wind, and these are servants of Indradev. And Vayu, who's the wind god, the life breath of the universe, and he also works for Indra. Indra is the king of heaven, for anyone who doesn't know. And King Indra, being the king of heaven and very opulent, and beginning to think that actually he's the lord of the universe, because he's very powerful, became very proud. And because of his pride, Krishna, who is very, very merciful to all his devotees, decided to teach him a lesson. Because Indra, like us, is a jiva. Jivas get put in different bodies according to their activities and their mentality. And so Indra is a very high position, but he's still a jiva, like you or I, as is an insect, like Indragopa is also a jiva. So Krishna wanted to remind him and smash his pride. So I wanted to talk, I've tied this in especially because we have, on Friday is the Govardhan Puja. And on Sunday we will do the public festival, because in America, unfortunately, because it's not a non-agricultural country, everyone has to work in factories and offices to have a little place to sleep in the night. It's very unfortunate. But so that, for that reason, we can't celebrate on the actual Tirthi, which is Friday, and we will do a small thing on Friday and a big thing on Sunday. So please, everybody come. It's going to be very, very ecstatic. And Govardhan Hill is so important because Govardhan Hill is non-different than Krishna. In fact, he is Krishna himself at times. He's both. He's devotee and Krishna. So it's an interesting tattva. When Radharani had to come to the material world and Krishna come to the material world, of course Radharani didn't want to come. So Krishna made a promise that Govardhan Hill, Jamuna, and I think also the dust, it was the dust of Raja, also will come, and then she would be happy to come. Was it Radhakund as well? Was Radhakund the fourth one? I'm not sure. I don't want to say the wrong thing. So knowing this, we should be very eager to bring something for the festival to make it as grand and beautiful as possible. If you have a Brahmin initiation, you can cook. And if you look at other temples, what they do, their Govardhan hills are spectacular. So let's make our hill a challenge to the other temples. So, because Govardhan is especially hungry. And Radharani said that Govardhan is the best of all devotees. In fact, he's described by Raghunath Das Goswami as the fresh tilak on the body of Raja. And he fulfills all desires. And Raghunath Das Goswami has a beautiful prayer, which I'm not going to sing it because of the time factor, and also because I'll just give her like a synopsis, I think that's the word, of the basic outline of it. And all great saints pray, Raghunath Das Goswami particularly prayed to be able to reside at Govardhan, because Govardhan is very, very dear to Lord Krishna. And by residing at Govardhan, one will be able to see the Nitya Leela pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna, and also the cow herding pastimes of Krishna and Balaram, because Nanda Maharaj and the Gopas, they all moved near to Govardhan because of the abundance of fresh and fragrant grasses that grow there to feed the cows, because Nanda Maharaj had a lot of cows. 900,000 if you want to be precise. Yeah, he had a lot of cows. And so at that time Govardhan was full of waterfalls and lakes and fields of meadows for grazing the cows. And Govardhan is also shaped like a peacock, where Radhakund and Shyamakund are like the two eyes at the top. And there's many, many kundas there. If you get a chance to go, many of you have been for Govardhan Parikrama. This is performed traditionally barefoot. And you will also see many sevans who are performing Dandavat Parikrama, which takes many, many years. Some of them do 108 in one place. They put 108 stones for each Dandavat. And then they'll move on. And like this, gradually, over the years, they do a complete circumambulation of Govardhan. And there's so many places there because Krishna and Balaram spent so much time there. There's so many pastime places there. Like Manasi Ganga is there, where Krishna, with the boat pastimes. There's Govinda Kund with Madhavendra Puri, where Krishna actually appeared to Madhavendra Puri. Kusum Sarovar, beautiful Kusum Sarovar. How many people have been? Kusum Sarovar, where the gopis would collect flowers. Uddhava Kund, Chakaleshwar Mahadev, Lota Baba. There's Lota Baba. He's down at the bottom of Govardhan, and he's waiting for Krishna to return. And then there's the beautiful village of Anayor, and that's the place where the I believe where the puja was held. So Madhavendra Puri created a big festival when he reinstalled the Gopal deity on the top of the Govardhan hill. Because devotees don't walk on Govardhan hill in this time, but so this festival is always held on the day after the Diwali festival, which is celebrating Lord Ramachandra. But at this time, all the Brijbasis, they brought all the best of their milk, and all of it, not just the best, but all. The milk and the flour and the grains and all the different things, the fruits and the vegetables that they had. And they created wonderful feast for Govardhan. There were mountains of chapatis and mountains of puris, mountains of rice and mountains of various preparations of sabjis and sweet rice and so many things. And then they did a big puja, and then Govardhan ate everything. He has a very, very big appetite. Like Jagannath likes to eat 56 times a day, but Govardhan has a even bigger appetite. In fact, I was reading Madhavananda. He was saying that the Chapan Bhog originated actually from the Govardhan puja that was done by Madhavendra Puri. And yes, Raghunath Das Goswami, he wrote this beautiful poem. And he also was the one who Lord Chaitanya empowered to excavate the Radhakund, because Radhakund became lost. Everything became lost after some time after when Krishna left. And so the Goswamis, they had the job, the seva, they had the seva to re-establish those pastime places, and Raghunath Das Goswami was in charge of re-establishing Radhakund, and that's when they found the tongue of Govardhan, because when they were digging, one of the stones started to bleed, and so that was is in a temple there at Radhakund is the temple of the tongue of Govardhan. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Everything is so personal. So it's, oh beautiful mountain, matchless, enormous king of mountains, please bestow upon me my most cherished desire. residence by your side. You took the shape of the arm of, you took the shape of an umbrella with the arm of the Lord, of your Lord as a handle. Thus you pulverized the arrogant pride of Indra, who was intoxicated by his own opulence. He goes on to say that he wants to live there, because then he can always see the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram with the cows sporting, and also to see the amorous leelas of Radha and Krishna, that the Govardhan hill embraces the Radha Kund and nourishes the cows, and it's the crown of Vrindavan, and so he always wants to be there because it's the best of all devotees. And Madhumangala, one of Krishna's friends, he was the Brahmin. He was a Brahmin. He liked to eat a lot of sweets, and he was always, all the cowherd boys were joking with Krishna, but this Madhumangala, he said to Krishna, when Krishna was lifting the hill, and the hill was held up for 7 days and 7 nights, so it was actually the best time for all the Brajabasis, because nobody likes to be separated from Krishna, but everyone was separated from Krishna at some part of the day or the night. But during the Govardhan Leela, 24/7, everyone had full darshan of Krishna. And during this time, Krishna was holding the hill with his left hand and his small finger. And Madhumangala, his fat Brahmana friend, said to him, "Why you go to all this trouble, Krishna, of lifting the hill? Just by my Brahman Tejas, I can hold it on the tip of my stick. You must be so exhausted. Why don't you take a break now?" And it's also told in when we're on Parakam, they say how, Krishna laughed and let a little bit of the weight away, and everyone was like, the hill was coming down, and of course they couldn't hold it, because only Krishna can lift the Govardhan hill. So our festival is on Sunday, and I wanted to create as much mood as possible, because it's the importance. The festival becomes more ecstatic the more we're in the mood, the more we think about, the more we talk about, the more we plan, the more we make arrangements to make this festival beautiful, the more our minds will be in that Vrindavan mood and with Govardhan, until we sing with our eyes, but we're actually seeing the colors of these pastimes in our eyes, in our mind's eye, and we're just filled with some kind of small taste of how it can be. We get some taste like that, and so I encourage you all to jump into the Leelas as if it was a kund, washing away our impurities, and bathe in the glories of Lord Krishna in this month of Kartik, and let's make this festival as amazing as possible. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Any correction? It's okay.